training program, and we conduct.
Kishore is here also.
He'll be joining.
Okay.
He'll be joining. So we do talks and workshops, basically on key entrepreneurship themes, so that you kind of get familiar with it, and we would welcome you to kind of, if you have any suggestions, thoughts on what you would like to have these talks and workshops on, feel free. But what we noticed, and JK sir here has been one of our senior mentors, been associated with Incubation Cell right from the start, which is 2013 onwards. He's been with us and regular at the mentoring clinic. And what he and Arjun, who joined us more recently, felt that one of the critical aspects for any startup is to get that sales done, right? So no matter how fantastic the product, no matter how great the company, no matter how great the founders, unless and until you're able to close that sales, means nothing, right? So they came up with this Marketbridge initiative, initially just to kind of make the connect with a large network of primarily IIT Madras alumni, right? Who are kind of spread through the country, over the globe, who are themselves senior entrepreneurs or hold positions in these organizations, thinking that either once the connect is made, you can either close a deal or kind of get that one lead somewhere so you can take the conversation forward. As we were doing this Marketbridge initiative, we felt that it would also be helpful to kind of hold these workshops, wherein one, we could look at refining your sales pitch, or kind of helping you make effective communication with the potential customer client, or just to change that attitude, right? The thinking of how you approach any sales conversations, right? And therefore, we felt that we can invite people like Mahalingam sir today, who have that experience and expertise, who know the pain of kind of going through, right, of that long journey of having those conversations after conversation, not knowing whether you will be able to, but hopefully people like him can kind of guide you and make that journey, a little more, a little shorter, right? And at least we'll be able to guide you on that. So therefore, we call this the new improved version of Marketbridge, or Marketbridge 2.0, wherein we will hold, this is going to be a series of workshops wherein we will bring in speakers like Mahalingam sir, and we of course have JK sir and Arjun here, and we will have these workshops on a very regular basis. We encourage you to please come for these as many times as you want to. Once you feel you're comfortable, then we will kind of make the connect to the Marketbridge network, the friends of Marketbridge as we call them. So that's kind of the process here. I will let JK sir talk more about the Marketbridge initiative and also kindly introduce the speaker to us. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Jaya. Good morning.
Good morning.
Like Jaya has been sharing with you, I have of course met many of you, have interacted with you over the last 1.5 to 2 years that we've been having the Marketbridge program, and some of you even during the mentoring clinics. And like Jaya pointed out, the objective of Marketbridge, and many of you have already experienced it. There are two clear objectives. One, how do you make your pitch sharper so that whatever product or service we have, we are able to communicate that clearly to potential customers. And there itself, many of you have had interactions and inputs from the friends of Marketbridge, who are all alumni from IIT Madras. Arjun and I have been sort of pioneering Marketbridge. Arjun is also IIT Madras alumnus 2000 batch. I'm a few years ahead of him. The objective one, getting the way we speak about our product or our pitch sharper. Clearly identifying who is our customer and making sure we are able to communicate clearly in simple language. Second, if through the meetings we are able to get some leads and move on to actually presenting and pitching to our own target customers, that's another objective that we have in Marketbridge. And like Jaya said, the new initiative is the series of workshops. And in the series of workshops, we are going to invite friends like Mali, who have many years of rich experience in building companies, meeting customers, and so their own insights will add to how we can approach the objectives of Marketbridge. Objectives of Marketbridge, again, very clearly, how to get a customer for ourselves. And towards getting that customer, any step. So today's topic, for example, is about lead generation. So all these are all aimed at getting a customer. So that's the objective. And without much ado, good friend Mali, he's the director, CEO of the TSM group of companies, very diverse operations. I think the used car has gone through some other word nowadays.
Pre-owned.
Pre-owned. Yeah. Pre-owned. And that's a competitive market. Mali has been in it, building a brand for what they do. And by virtue of the fact that they have been in touch with so many people who want these vehicles, they've built on opportunities that came that way, and they are leading financial services for various of these people. They are in real estate, and Mali himself is an angel investor, very connected to entrepreneurship and what is happening. He's part of the Chennai Angels. Mali is a distinguished alumnus from good old REC, now called NIT Trichy, alumnus of IIM Calcutta, past president of the IIM Calcutta Alumni Association, current vice president of the Madras Management Association, and holds many positions in industry bodies. More important, Mali is such a networking person for almost everybody from school, from REC, from IIMC, from anywhere. To get in touch with anybody, Mali is the center. They say in those good old days, you would have all heard this joke about Banta Singh, supposedly popular person who, when he was standing next to the Pope, somebody in the crowd asked, who is that standing next to Banta Singh? Similarly, if Mr. Narendra Modi stands next to Mali, somebody will ask, who is that standing next to Mali?
Getting dangerous now, JK.
Very connected, and more than anything, he's practical in nature. He actually told me today, JK, I don't want to make any presentation. He says, look, all this IIM Calcutta, okay, he used some term, short form being BS, not required, but we will share practical examples which could be of value to all these entrepreneurs. So delighted, Mali, that you are here and looking forward to your session and interaction. He wants to make it interactive. So his own thing was, he quickly if each one can very quickly, 30 seconds, name, company, what is my product or service, who is my customer, what is that particular pain point I'm addressing or a value I'm adding. Very quickly, so that he gets a flavor of each one of your products or services.
Hi, I'm Surya Dragan from Smart Home Healthcare Solutions. So we designed clinical management software for physiotherapists because we need some requirements of. Hello, I'm Ava from Surya Private Limited. We make specialty ceramic materials that can sustain temperature greater than 1500 degrees centigrade and survive extreme environment.
Customer? Who's the customer?
So our customer lies from space, defense, refractory, and foundry sectors.
Hello, my name is Vikas and I'm co-founder of GEV DC Tech Private Limited. I'm working on the DC grid for the multiple EV charging network. So I have our customer is the spaces or parking areas.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Vijay from Computer Contact. I'm the founder. So we are building a software product for energy source companies right now. With our product, energy source companies can create technical drawings with 4,000% increased productivity.
Technical drawings.
Technical.
Customer, just now.
Engineering service companies.
Engineering service company.
Hi, good morning. This is Karun, and I'm from Smart Home Healthcare Solutions. We are building platforms focused on physiotherapy. So, physiotherapists are our customers.
Good morning, everyone. This is Karthik, co-founder of Bhatia.ai. We are into artificial intelligence-based virtual mentor. We are into LMS. Primary target audience is B2B.
Good morning, this is Rani Muralidharan. I am the co-founder of Independent Connections Private Limited. We bring women back to work, women on career break back to work. My customers are women who are already, who were already employed, taken a career break and would like to come back. And my customers are also companies who are happy to hire the women that we train.
Hi, this is Prem Kumar from Medcore. We are into Iitmic indoor air quality monitoring solution to increase the productivity of the employees. Our primary target segment would be IT, hospitals, schools, colleges. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Danushya. I run a startup here called Neurostella. So we are building a wearable smart headband for improving relaxation, productivity, and for helping people with understanding their brain states better, like focus and relaxation. So that's what we're into right now. And with respect to customers, we have 3 segments. One is wellness centers, where all these kind of brain activity detection is important. And apart from that, corporates and sports is where we look at.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shilpa from Artforms Global. It's a construction ecosystem connecting service providers and manufacturers under one roof.
Customers, your customers would be?
Architects, service providers like architects, contractors, engineers, and manufacturers of construction materials.
Hello, my name is Kaushik. I'm co-founder of Institute Micron Private Limited. It's a small-scale mechanical testing. We make small-scale mechanical testing instruments. So our customer is academia and R&D labs, but we are trying to explore the industries how we can reduce.
I am Ankit. I create content for school children, but targeted at very intelligent children from very poor background.
Customers?
The children from very poor background.
Hi, I'm Shankar. I represent Satori XR Private Limited. So we deliver XR, AR, VR, XR solutions for sales productivity and branding and communication purposes. So our target audiences are discrete manufacturing sales domain of discrete manufacturing, as well as corporates and NGOs in terms of communicating.
Good morning. My name is Akhilesh. I'm a co-founder of what we call Untitled Chapter Limited, and we provide solutions to increase operational efficiency of any manufacturing industry. So we can give any solution that helps them monitor the whole factory with their phone. So that is good.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ravinder Singh, co-founder of Jigyasa Wireless. So our company offers a system-level simulator for 5G and beyond wireless communication. And telecom OEMs who are building their components and equipments for beyond 5G wireless technologies are our primary customers. And in academia, professors who are working on beyond 5G wireless research, they are our primary customers.
Hello everyone, I'm Badri, co-founder and CEO of Planetix. We are a supply chain planning and analytics software for enterprises. Even though we built our industry agnostic software, we are pivoting in the healthcare vertical. So our customers are primarily big hospitals, hospitals with multiple locations, so chain hospitals. And the pain point that we're solving is HMS systems or even ERP systems are built on legacy logic and just not in tune with the supply chain challenges of today. And we want to help them make prudent decisions. I'm also sitting here with my sales head problem. So, thank you.
Thank you. Right. Great.
Hi, happy morning to everyone, and I'm Krishnan from Yard Mobility. We design and develop electric three-wheeler vehicle for the different age people and the elderly people. So our target audience are there, and we finished the prototype and we are speaking of the participant.
Great. Thank you so much for all these introductions. So Mali, you now have a flavor of the different things that our startups are working on. Over to you for your...
First of all, good morning to all of you. Yeah. Thanks, JK. I've never heard myself in this light in which he presented me. Okay. Some of those things reveal revelations to myself. Thanks, JK. Okay. JK is senior to me in IMC. I can't say the same about IIT. I didn't come to IIT. I went to NIT Trichy. JK in the IIM Calcutta alumni system has been one of the pillars. So we kind of looked up to JK and a lot of guys who built this together in the IIM Calcutta alumni system. That's why I got to know JK. Apart from the fact I have a classmate who's his brother-in-law. So multi-level connections with JK. So when JK called, obviously, I had to come. And since it was IIT's Madras Research Park, even more motivation. I've come here a few times. I can tell you every time I come, two things happen to me. My energy levels go up and my knowledge goes up. Okay, because it's, I love this, I can tell you. I love meeting entrepreneurs. It's more than a passion, I can tell you, because for me, it's a learning experience. One of the reasons is what I do in angel investing, as I was telling JK in my conversation, is the thrill of getting to know the new generation entrepreneurs, how they think, and what I call them the audacity of hope generation. They're absolutely audacious, no fear of failure. Even if there's failure, move on, basically. In our generation, when I got into business, even if it's a family business, it's very uncool. It's not at all. You never, I can tell you a private fact, personal fact, it's very difficult to get my parents to find a bride for me because I was a businessman. The most sought after jobs, the bank jobs, multinational corporation jobs, etc. So it's so heartening to know over the last 3 decades, entrepreneurship has become cool. And the beauty about entrepreneurship today is that it's not restricted to people in the 20s only. People at various stages of their career are trying entrepreneurship, and it's so energizing. So I'll come back to what I do briefly. I think JK told you I got into a family business of pre-owned cars. We are a well-known name. Then accidents happened. I came back after an MBA simply because my father fell sick. It was not the coolest thing to come back to also. Fortune happened that Citibank were starting their retail operations in India and they're looking for a partner to distribute the loan products. We are the first third-party distributor of the loan products of Citi in the country in 1988. So we tied up with them, built brands called Outline, Shelters. We did an event called Prop Shop. A lot of innovation stuff in distribution of financial services in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s before the private banks like HDFC and ICICI got in and did this. Along with that, since we're doing home loans, we had an exposure to real estate customers. So we started doing a real estate advisory business, and which led on to a real estate development business. We do land, lot of land, commercial and residential. All this got me into saying that what I've learned, I need to use and enjoy also. This is what got me into angel investing, mentoring, etc. I made a couple of private investments, personal investments into mid-stage companies also. So broadly, this is what I am, and I love meeting entrepreneurs. So I said I jumped at the opportunity and came here. Thanks, JK. That much about me. And the way we want to keep this, I told JK, and JK suggested, and I readily agreed that I will share my experiences across the various things I've done to give you insights into lead generation and customer. Because some of the stuff customers come to us, some of the business I do, we had to go and reach to new customers. And in entrepreneurship, I've kind of been on the board of 2 or 3 startups. And many of them are B2B, 2 of them are B2B in many ways. So I thought I could share your experiences across what I've done, and we'll keep it interactive. And at any stage, if anybody have questions, please do feel. JK and I think JK has a structure to it in terms of how this will go. We'll go with the flow. JK, thanks again. Hope all of you have a good session. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Mike. So let's come to, there are 2 aspects to today's workshop. We're going to spend some time on lead generation, understanding some strategies and approaches, and then each one of us must map to whatever is our product or service. Think about it, and if there is anything, then we can raise some specific questions at that time. So lead generation is one part. All leads finally need to move to acquiring a customer. So we're going to spend some time on aspects which will help to move or convert leads into customers. So we're going to spend some time. So there are there are two parts to what we're going to discuss. So Mali, you were sharing with me an example to say that, and I think these are all interesting because it positions what we need to do in our minds. He said, we are fishermen. We are fishermen wanting to land fish. Okay? If you all remember, there was one earlier workshop when we spoke of the three most important things in business. Any of you who was here at that time, because I'm going to repeat this. The three most important things in business. Number one is to get a customer. Number two is to get one more customer. You can all guess number three. Get more and more customers. So the three most important aspects in business. If any one of you getting confused that the most important thing is my product, the most important thing is funding, the most important thing is people, most important thing is office space, you can forget that. Erase, delete. Would you all like to repeat after me? What is the most important thing in business? I'm happy we are all in agreement. Towards that, we had put up a thing of a guy with a fishing rod waiting patiently near this lake. We are all those fishermen. We are all those fishermen. We all have a fishing rod. But before, in this fishing rod, a fish actually takes the bait. There are many aspects which we need to know. So Mali was sharing with me things to say. Does everybody know who really is my fish? Or where is my fish swimming? So that even if I have a fishing rod and a bait, I know what to do. Mali?
Yeah. Firstly, I think JK and I decided one thing. I think with your new generation entrepreneurs, we're going to avoid digital suggestions because you guys will know more than us for sure. Yeah. And social media and stuff like that. We'll keep that aside, but there might be occasions where what they call hybrid sourcing helps, lead gen helps, but we're not going to dwell too much on that bit except where it thinks it's relevant, basically. I want to start with that so that I want to set the expectations right. I'm not going to discuss, I'm not an expert on digital acquisition of customers, so we'll keep it simple. So first of all of you, a fantastic range of products and services you're bringing to the table. I'm sure since you're not doing it for research sake, but doing it as a business idea, when all of you are building this, you would have, if not precisely known kind of who your customer could be or which kind of customer. It could be a factory, it could be a physiotherapy clinic, it could be a hardware industry, whatever, services. So that's a great starting point to identifying potential customers when your product and service is ready. See, there are multiple ways in identifying these customers. You see, when you do a startup, you'll have maybe a co-founder, you'll have a mentor like JK or somebody who's along with you, who's on your advisory board, whatever. I think those are good starting points to get some names of customers or get some clusters of customers, basically. Okay, so that is a good starting point to find out where. Let's give you an example. When we started doing doctors' loans for customers. It was simple. Okay, the doctors were our customers. So how do I get to customers? There are typical routes. We were old-fashioned. We were the first to do call centers for loans in 92, 91. To reach out to doctor databases, that's logical. Now, if you want to go beyond that, how do we get clusters of customers? So there are people where doctors get together. There could be an association, it could be a get-together kind of thing. So it's good to try and identify your customer, and while you reach them, as Jay to say, maybe through one-to-one conversations, walking in the street, whatever, you will get references from mentors, you'll get references, etc. That's one way to reach to customers. But parallelly, as entrepreneurs, if you want to increase the number of customer prospects, basically, then you find ways of, whether it's to being at contexts where the customers are. It could be a doctors get together, whatever. So that it's a good way, or bodies or associations of these, whatever doctors are or manufacturers are or whatever products we service. That's a good way to identify your customer and start reaching out to them. You want to go further on this, JK, or you want to stop here?
No, this is good. I think we should take each one and just examine, and if any one of you can share saying, hey, we tried this, or this may be interesting to us, then that can provoke further discussion on this topic. So the point that Mali is sharing with us, he just took an example saying loans to doctors. And so automatically I want to take this fishermen, where do fish swim about, so that then we can take our fishing rod, we have to decide what is the bait, but then we have a better chance of landing a fish. So we should keep this parallel in mind, because then it is easy for us to keep thinking about what we need to do. He said, therefore, loan product for doctors. So his mind started to work on, do all doctors need loans? Do some of them need loans? See, all of this we will talk as we move forward. But his thing was saying, hey, where can I go and position to say, hey, we have this product, and then people may. So he said, we started to participate in either conferences or events where pharma companies or somebody else was putting together something, and it was an opportunity. So what he's sharing with us is, for a lead generation, many of us who are in B2B, many of this B2B, are we thinking in terms of having our presence at a place where our target customers are likely to gather? So I really think this is an interesting thing, which means rather than me going and scouting around one by one to say where my target customers exist, if there is going to be an event or a program which is being put together maybe by somebody else, but which may have people from my target audience, can I have a presence there and try and get leads? Maria,
just to add to that, see, you can even support events which groups of these professionals who are, they can be hardware manufacturers, medium SME traders, doctors, engineers, architects. They have regular meetings, they have bodies. So you can be in that context. You could sponsor a tea also there. These are not very high cost, but gives you access to a group of customers at one go, basically. I have other examples I'll come to from other verticals, but if anybody has in B2B any questions, so we can take it here right now.
Let us take this specific thing.
Yeah.
Any one of you feel this is valid for what I'm doing?
Some of you might be already doing it.
Any one of you who's already tried something like this and may like to share some experience saying, is it worthwhile? Does it give us some leads? Yeah, go ahead.
So we are into manufacturers segment, particularly we are looking for. So most of our customers at the moment are MSMEs, and so we are positioned in Hosur, which is near Bangalore, and there is a solution called Hostia. And last month, 26th, we actually conducted a dinner meet for all industries, and we got 82 customers. Yeah. So
customers or leads?
Leads. Names.
We are trying your approach here. So you asked us to try install one device, give them free for 2 weeks, then go. So we are giving it to all.
Good.
So when is this happen?
26th. We are actually.
So being specialty chemicals, so we participated in a conference and an exhibition where the users of such chemicals were there when they were presenting their work, and also other exhibitors, other businesses who are working in the algae field. So we presented our work also there, and we also put up a stall. So we were able to generate almost around 15 leads, out of which into the customer range right now we have served 2. So
excellent.
That's how it is.
That's nice.
Anybody else has anything?
I can share.
Yeah. Rani, yeah.
So we are in the space of bringing women back to work. So I need to help the women who are, so the various ways in which we try to connect, where we could get clusters is, we are connected with colleges for their alumni association, through which we can connect to women who studied there, worked for some time, quit. So we actually were able to convert quite a few number of them as customers itself. We participated obviously in, we tried to participate in exhibitions where women's jewelries and saris and everything was sold. But there we didn't find much of an opportunity in that place because women who were serious about profession were not there.
Sure.
And another unique opportunity which we have identified but which we are going to start exploring is, I don't know how many of you are aware of this app called MindGate. This is an app that is installed in every resident's house who lives in a gated community.
Okay.
So anybody coming into the building, anybody going out of the building, who comes to their apartment or any car coming into there. So everything through that app, every resident tracks. So that app actually provides advertisements. So that is an app where most women will be connected. And I was surprised to know that there are more than 375 gated communities in Chennai. And the number runs in lakhs, the number of families.
Great. Now, I want to pick up from each one because I feel from each one which each one of you is trying, there could be lessons for all of us. So what Rani is sharing is, in her mind, to try and approach her target segment, trying to find out various ways in which she can connect or reach. And many of these could be low cost in terms of having her presence in those apps or advertising in those apps. So just an input which we can take from each one. Okay, anybody else? Badri, you wanted to, about an exhibition?
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah, totally agree with what the speaker just said. We're also trying the same thing in terms of aligning ourselves with associations, seeing where hospital owners would be, because for us, in terms of software, it's important to identify who is going to be the decision maker and who would potentially be those influencers. And the decision makers and influencers don't hang out at the same place unless they're in the hospital. So how do we go about doing that? And also, I must add that because we are pivoting in the healthcare vertical, the HDIC that we have in C blocks, they've also been talking to there has been quite helpful. So again, just reaching out to people, talking to people, and you were earlier talking to JK to see whether this is the right fish for you. Yeah, I mean we've gone through different iterations.
Sure.
To identify that okay, this is
correct.
This has the highest probability of catching the right fish.
Just want to add one thing, JK. Is, what we learned by doing this, a couple of examples I'll give you. Some things worked, some things didn't work. See, when you go to these conferences, don't go as far as possible initially maybe. Go with a specific hook for the customer. Promote a banner or something which will draw them to you instead of saying just your organization and thing. Generically, people come for information. You should have that, but there should be a hook for customers to come to you with curiosity. There should be an offering. Maybe
give me an example of what you did in the doctors' conference. Mark.
Yeah. So what we will do in a doctors' conference those days?
Proposition or something.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what we do. Yeah. We'll go talk to our partner banks and say special offer only for the day. Okay. If you sign up today.
Okay.
Try and accelerate the decision process. Okay.
Okay.
Offer fees waived today. Or some customer give back gift that day. So there is incentive for the customer to act. It might convert, not convert, but more people will come if there's an action trigger, basically.
I think it's a great point. Yeah. I think it's a great point, and I'm sure, like Raj, I know you participated in that PALS, you took a stall for all colleges, etc. But I think Mali's point is so useful. He says, don't go with this general thing saying, we are this great company, okay? Or we have this product. He feels if the bait for that day, there is something specific, you have a better chance of getting a lead. I think the point is a very important point that don't go with this general thing saying, put up on the stand and say, we are all this.
You could say that, but you have to trigger some action. Other thing is that it's important if there's any of your products which can actually be demoed there. And it's wonderful to experience the product, basically. Okay. It's wonderful to. I'll just give you another example where it didn't work, and it's a very funny example. See, when much before, just in the cusp of the digital era, when IT boom was happening, what we did? I thought it was a very a lovely marketing idea. We took up space inside IT parks. Chennai 145 parks. For loans, we have a brand called Rupee Zone. We put up stalls and hoping, so all the customers will just next to the food court. Okay. We thought it was the best idea in a long time. We realized after spending a few lakhs of rupees, people hesitated to come there because they didn't want to be seen inquiring about loans. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a product where people don't want others to know that they're borrowing. Okay. We learned it the hard way, I can tell you. So you have to be careful in that communication. Then one of our guys said, "Sir, don't do this. Let's do mobile top-up." People come up for that and then cross-sell that maybe. So just positioning the products was not good because nobody wanted to know his colleague to know that he's borrowing, basically. Okay. So you have to be careful in the way you present it is also, I'm saying.
Great.
So,
Go Raj, yeah. Please.
Yeah. I come from a company called Fukin Cloud, and we believe in the next 10 years there are going to be no books. I know it's a hard sell. So we are building autonomous bots. Again, taking the example of the fishing. If you remember, there used to be an ad where one father and a child are actually sitting on the banks of some lake with a long stick, while someone comes small stick and uses very quick and says,
Correct.
So we want to be like that. We don't want to actually wait for that one fish.
Yeah.
Of that. So I'm just taking a cue from what you were saying. We did the PALS, we did the Imagine Summit. We got what I would call as good inquiries. Those inquiries actually funneled down to very few leads, and then
No. First, what is a lead? Why are you differentiating between inquiries and leads? Mali, this is we spent. Remember, we had this conversation. But I want this clarity in everybody's minds. Do each one of us understand lead differently? So he is now saying there's a difference between inquiries and leads from what you said. I want us to come up with a common understanding of what is a lead.
So I would presume lead is an untouched contact.
Just a contact, Badri, or is there one aspect to a lead? I want to lead with one statement to define lead. Is a lead somebody who says, "Hey, I'm interested to know more"? A lead is not just a contact. Suppose I tell you, "Hey, Badri, I know so and so, yeah, you can call him." That is just a contact. But when you speak to him or something and he says, "Hey, Badri, this is interesting, can you come and present?" So let us understand when we say lead. Mali, your thoughts?
I just want to add to that. It's a simple way, See, if you simple example give you when you start doing housing loans, market for housing in the country, it's the population virtually, okay? Yeah. But that's not the addressable market. It's the need. It's not demand. Yeah. Need with intent and ability is what is the most important thing you have to judge. I'm not saying you should not go meet a customer shouldn't meet you, but qualifying that helps you increase your productivity of getting a nice qualified lead, let's say, is all I'll say. Yeah.
No, in that, even if let us say you go to a doctor's conference, that doctor who comes and inquires saying, "Hey, this is interesting," that doctor is the lead, not the entire guys who came for the conference.
I will take it a little differently. See, what we do is, part of the exercise is generating leads that day, part of gathering the database that day. See, many products and services, at least in the B2C space and some in the B2B space also, is about getting in touch with the customer when he has a demand. He might not have a demand on that day, JK, but it's good to have him and be in communication with him.
I agree, Mali. I want to differentiate between the database of potential customers.
Yes, and a lead.
And a lead.
A lead is that guy who inquires.
Yeah, who inquires and says, "I'm interested."
Correct.
For something. Database of potential customers, gathering that is a constant thing. Okay. Yeah. So we must differentiate this. We are talking of lead generation, and in our minds, a lead is someone who says, either "I'm interested to know more, can you show me the product, can you meet me, can I know more?" A lead is that. The rest is your database of potential.
Just to fine tune that, I'm paraphrasing in a different way what JK is saying. If you can be in a context at the point when the customer has a need, is the best time you can get to business, I can tell you. It doesn't happen by magic. It's about repeatedly doing it, trying it, fine-tuning your promo for the day, what the need, what will resonate with them. You'll learn that as you go along, basically. What do I say which will trigger action from the customer and then the right time? Particularly, for example, in our business, for example, Adi Masam and Margazhi Masam is bad. I won't do anything then, for example. These are learnings for me. So, but it's changing. Okay, this generation doesn't care, but we'll give, if you notice, everybody gives a discount then to trigger a purchase. So, you have to understand the context and present yourself, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
So, in that lead,
yeah.
I just want to pivot from there.
Yeah.
It's nice that the inquiries can get converted into leads, and leads will eventually get into an order or a customer.
Yeah.
But that lead is what we have realized is a very tricky one, right? Because there is, as he told, you have the decision maker and then you have the influencer. If both of them are in tandem, then gets converted into customer.
JK, we are addressing this subsequently.
Yes, we are addressing. No, we'll come to conversion, Raj. First is let's focus.
All I wanted to say is that there is a negative influence that the influencer does, and it doesn't get.
And we'll come to that. That's
No,
part
we'll
of the.
But in the process, for everybody's benefit, it is important to have more and more leads with us. I mean, we are saying we want more customers. So the focus is to say we have to continuously create leads and have the pool of leads with whom we follow up. How to convert a lead into a customer, we'll come to. So
JK,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Just someone says, hey, I'm interested to see your product. I mean, they could, once they see the product, they could not be so interested. So,
pause. Pause, Badri.
Wait.
Wait. I want to pause. I want to say, I had nobody. I'm having a product, not even knowing where and how do I get to my next customer. Okay. I did some event and there are 10 guys saying, hey, I'm interested to know more. Am I not at a better level than what I was when I didn't even know where I should go? I want to come to all leads, all inquiries we categorize as cold, warm, hot. So we'll come to how to move people, but even without that inquiry or lead, where do I go? Who am I meeting?
I just want to add to that. Yeah. But you should understand that every inquiry, if not becoming a lead or a conversion later also, is a learning on how to pitch ourselves and fine-tune our offering to the customer.
Yes.
That's the way I look at it.
Yes.
He can say no, but I've learned. What should I do differently to make him say yes? For me, every inquiry is a learning. Even if it's not a lead. Do you understand? And the reason he says no is a bigger learning for me.
Yeah.
It's value there. Because we have a call center now. There'll be a team which does outbound, which team is inbound. The outbound guys really are jealous of the inbound guys.
Yeah.
Because you're calling a customer who wants to know more about something. So there's a lot of merit in.
Yeah.
Go on, JK.
Yeah. That was the point that therefore to converting leads into customers we'll come to. Mali is going to give us some more examples and stuff. But our first focus in this first 1 hour before we break for coffee, in each one of your minds, is there anything or some question which you want to raise specific to your own product or service on how can I create leads? We have had some input saying, hey, in our minds the parallel is greater understanding of my fish, because that itself is first. Who is my customer? The more we can segregate and target and say, maybe in this income bracket, this size, this shape, this is a better way of understanding who is my customer than generally saying, like Badri, what you shared. Generally saying, hey, anybody in the healthcare industry versus somebody of this size, this, whatever is an exercise you're doing, or even for you, Akhilesh, in terms of how you're identifying, greater understanding makes it easier for us to say, where therefore is my fish, and therefore where do I go, what is my bait? So let's spend only another 10 minutes before that. Anybody who has anything specific, yeah, please.
So with respect to this, we were planning to create a community.
Your product was?
So brain sensing technology, where people are interested in improving their mind states.
Mind
states.
Improving
their mind states.
And
like improving focus, productivity, getting more relaxed.
And you said your customer base was in the corporate, or was it?
It is in the corporates as of now, and also we are seeing some issues from wellness enthusiasts.
Let's first take corporate. Let's take one area and then raise whatever.
We were looking at the wellness communities or the biohackers. So in that space, we were thinking of maybe creating a community because there are no biohacking communities, especially neurohacking communities in India. So we were thinking of creating that where we could understand more about the customer, their needs, and tweak the product accordingly as well. So it will serve as both the market and the product need. So, my question here is the effort that is required to do that is very high. And how do we qualify or that effort to get the customers? That's where we got stopped. So,
Mali.
Let me understand the product a bit. Now, what do you mean by what does your product do?
So the product is a wearable headband.
What does it do?
It kind of tracks brain signal and helps you understand what is the state of mind you're in.
How open are customers to wearing this to understand themselves, and is there no taboo to it?
There are taboo with respect to people who do not understand.
No. If I were sitting in a corporate in us, whatever hacking community, is it okay for me to wear one when the other guy is not wearing one? Wanted show me in a different light. Are people okay with it? First of all,
that's why we chose biohackers or people who are interested in trying it out first, who showed us the first interest. So that's the reason. Yeah.
You are worried about the cost of creating that community, etc.
The cost and the effort.
Effort, and by community, I would assume digitally. Basically, digitally community. See, I have some exposure into some startups which created patients with illness kind of communities, basically. Okay, some startups which do that. It's an effort because people have to be honest to come to the community. That I'm stressed. It is an effort for sure. And there's a cost of building it because it's like you have to spread your net wide to get a few fish. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
There is a cost. I don't know. I'm really not experienced really how to narrow the focus, but you should find a way of narrowing that focus because it's an effort. Because you have fundamental resistance of the individual to call himself stressed publicly. Is a thing you have mind block office you have to get over basically. Okay, it is a challenge. And it might cost time. I don't know about money. Surely it'll cost time and effort. And money also because you have to spend time to get attention of people. I would rather see if I can get to a cluster of customers who, if there are either through people who go through counseling, people who go through, those could be easier references to begin with. They are the lowest hanging fruit. Then you'll have people not so stressed but don't want to talk about it. For me, that's a very it's unknown territory for me. So that's what I'll say, Jake.
Again, a very valuable, I want to take from everything that Mali is sharing with us, and then each one of us, a very valuable thing to say, while we may define our target segment as whatever large, he's saying, can you identify the low-hanging fruits? I think it was a very valuable input. Let's start looking at these things. Hey, are there some low-hanging fruits where it's a little easier for me to make them adopt my product or look at my product or look at my service? I think this is another great input for us to look at in whatever we are doing.
Then you can use it as a starting point and start going viral with a group of people who are already doing it, who feel comfortable with what you're offering and see effect of what you're wearing.
Great input. Anybody? We have another 5 minutes. Yeah.
So there's a problem with creating the digital community first. Even before we thought of biohacking, we were looking to build as enthusiasts, where they were already working on meditation and all that. So the problem is
no, don't ask too many specific things about your thing, but then that'll go on. Anything which is towards lead generation. So yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
This is addition to in terms of what we have done in our segment. Thought process was that people whom we are already connected with, they would have certain questionnaires or problems with certain people. So they could refer those names as a counseling segment and they could become the leads as well. That could be
no, can I still say it's all towards where is the low-hanging fruit and can we first go after them in some form? Okay, I think then in all our minds we can say that's something we should look at in our own customer segments. Anybody else with something? Please.
So our product is something related to augmented reality and virtual reality. So every time when we go to these kind of events, So it creates an instant interest in everyone. Like it's very amazing to see things and deep tech and not exactly deep tech, but new technologies. So we get a lot of leads from them, saying like we are interested. But afterwards, it's when they go back, it's like then the point comes where they have to identify how the product fits with them. And then the ratio then drops very drastically. Is there any way where I can directly differentiate the leads from the event itself, where I can say these are the areas I have to focus on?
Firstly, I think your product is so high on curiosity value, it not be lead also. It might be the thrill of experiencing what you do, firstly. Okay. Now, if I were you, I'll again try and narrow my focus to few set of verticals, industries, customers, so that if you can communicate along with your demo or whatever you call it, how it solves problems for some of them. See, you should not leave just information. You should start them thinking on a decision to buy you. Okay. Only then serious inquiries will come in. Otherwise, we'll get curiosity. Can I have one more demo? Can my team see this? It'll go on for some time. Okay. For example, I don't know who are your industries you service?
It's also like MSMEs.
To do what? What do they do for MSMEs?
So we create augmented reality instructions.
Okay.
Process control application and instructions which guides them how to do an assembly or how to repair or do a maintenance application.
Do you showcase use cases in your demo? Yes. Of any specific industry or broadly?
No, specific industry.
So, but even those places you're not getting serious inquiries after that?
We are getting, but afterwards the ratio is low.
Is there a cost element to it which... Go ahead.
No, I have something specific because of a background in what you're saying. We'll talk after this, because there are some specific things which I found that we are doing. Many times we present and we are interacting. Again, I feel it comes back to what Mali said in terms of how well we identify who's our target segment. While you say MSME, for example, many of them won't have a budget. I want to share with you things which we must think of. Won't have a budget, very nice, oh, excellent, etc. But I won't spend a rupee to do all this sophisticated way of giving this process to my workers, because I've got another supervisor who will tell them how to do and what to do. So we'll come up with how and where to identify a better chance of our product or solution having...
And just one broad thought I want to leave, JK, on this. I think we discussed this.
Yeah.
Anything which you offer to a potential customer should do one of two things I've discussed. It should either add value, tangibly or intangibly, or subtract cost for them. See, ultimately, it should get more business for him or subtract cost for him so that margin improves, he can do more. So, either add value or subtract cost for a potential customer. Either increases productivity, what you give him as a service, or increases revenue, or increases throughput, process, everything, or subtract cost for him. How at a lower cost, your product or service will actually produce the same amount, the same productivity. So, if you have this broad thought in mind, where your product or service is, are you adding value or you're subtracting cost, or both? It could be both. It's a thought which is generic across products and services, basically.
I'm going to come back to you on that, Mali, even after the break. But I want to cover one more topic. We have 5 minutes before we break for coffee. If you remember, in an earlier session, we did a poll to categorize the products or services that we all have. Is it a must-have product? Okay, we had 3 categories. Is it a must-have product? Is it a nice-to-have product? Or is it a need-not-have product? Okay, we categorized as 3. And we must honestly evaluate, because many of us on that day were sharing that my product is a nice-to-have product. How many of you think I have a must-have product? Without my product, they cannot survive. For a certain segment, must-have products. So some of us have must-have products. The lead for a must-have product, Mali, so which means many of us have nice-to-have product. I want to say the AR/VR, nice to have. If it is not there, they have something else with which they are doing whatever they are doing. Okay. So Mali, is there some input in terms of an approach where if many of us have nice to have products, which means It's not that the need has already been created and the person is looking for a solution and now I have this solution, it's a greater opportunity.
I'll give you two examples on this, JK. One is I was mentor and director on a global company called Co-Bumper, which was an aggregator of automobile workshops. Okay, it was an app where the entrepreneur had put together all the workshops and listing, and he was driving business to customers to the workshop. So our customer was the workshops, basically. Okay. Initially, when you told them that we'll give you an app which will help you get more customers, we do the digital marketing, and we were managing the customer experience end to end on the app. Once you download the app, you go there, your status of your car repair or bike repair, everything, until delivery, you could monitor and even pay through that app. Initially, the customers, the workshops thought it's a nice to have thing because they don't want to be left out. Because everybody, they don't know digital marketing, a workshop which is run in a 500,000 or 500,000 square feet thing will deny. The moment you start driving customers to them and he sees the workshop next door getting more customers to the digital marketing, it becomes a must-have for them, basically. Okay, the coolness factor goes away and the need factor takes over.
I think this is a lovely example here. Lovely example where what Mali is saying is, even if ours is a nice to have product, if it is implemented somewhere for one customer and it becomes a must-have solution for that customer, it is a great way to showcase, to say, all you guys who all think it is only nice to have, please wake up, because it is a must-have. I think this is a lovely way of looking at whatever products or services we have got and to see how we can still get that one or two customers, implementations, experience where our product or solution for that customer is a must-have solution. Am I right, Mali?
Correct. The idea is you are entering the market at a stage when people don't buy it for logical reasons only. Okay. I will share this example. See, there is the best businesses to be in are either in the business of addressing vanity or insecurity. Okay. When the head stops thinking. Okay. I'll give you my car business example. Okay. The Skoda, the Volkswagen and the Audi are all on the same platform, but at different price points. Same engine almost, okay. Only the badge is different and the frame is different. Guys will pay almost twice for the Audi as they pay the Skoda because he wants to be seen getting out of an Audi. Selling to the guy is the best time because he feels good about paying more. Why do people buy expensive jewelry? Not because it's better, but because it's prestigious to have it. That's vanity. Addressing vanity, it's like 100 times better than selling 2 rupees out of 100. You'll make 200 out of 100 there, basically, okay. And insecurity again. You go to the best hospital and pay the best rate thinking because you get the best service. The feeling is you pay more, you get more. Not necessary, but that's the impact of the psychology. When you play on that psychology, whether it's vanity or insecurity, you know, it's unbelievable, I can tell you. When people start thinking logically is when you can milk them the best. Any of your product or service, no? If they address either vanity or insecurity, you're in a great space. Insecurity on the health side, people almost don't think, thanks to insurance today, basically, okay? So, it's a good place to be in because they're not going to negotiate that 1 rupee. When I sell a car, otherwise it's small car, they'll negotiate 5 rupees. I'll give you the story. We sell loans along with the cars. So, if you tell the guy, only 20 rupees EMI, close it out here. Sarana-bound coffee. You know, guys used to say, let me have the coffee. Why you guys? Okay, we love to negotiate because that's the mentality when you do a product or service at that level when you sell. But when you go higher up, people think by paying more, they're getting better. Or you are addressing one of their fears, they're willing to pay any price for it, basically.
Great. So we're going to have a coffee break, but before that, let's keep this point in mind that Mali's input is, even if we have a nice to have product, can we get one customer for whom when we implement, it becomes a must-have product or solution for that customer? And
or his neighbor.
Yeah, or his neighbor. Or his neighbor.
The FOMO effect, no, it's called.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't want to miss out.
Like we are into the charging business for a place where multiple EV nets, which are like parking areas. So we are very concerned with the customer. Who is our customer? Like we are going to a mall and we want to install those chargers there. So if mall is buying, the owner of mall is buying, that is direct competition. customer for us. But if he is giving to some contractor, so mall owner is our customer or that contractor is our customer? Because we are not finding these kind of contractor on Google or somewhere.
I'll tell you what. We have a car wash business in the malls of Chennai. I don't know if you've ever been to either Phoenix or Forum or Express. It's called Tejas Auto Spa. I don't know if we have a car wash business in malls. Okay, it's very tricky business because I'll tell you why. For that space which he's giving you is actually not commercial space. Okay, so the mall owners are actually, it's gravy for them to make whatever money they make on that. Okay, and they believe they're sitting on not only prime real estate but prime customer opportunity for the entrepreneurs, basically. Okay, now it's tempting for us and it's worked for us that you get customers flow without going anywhere else. Where will you get 3,000, 5,000 parking lots anywhere? It is. Now, I think it'll differ from mall to mall. Some of the malls have divisions which manage this, basically, which do it, their services themselves. Some of them have contractors, basically. We can take this offline. In Chennai, I can tell you how this works, if you want. I can give you some insight because we deal with malls on this business. I can put you on to the people who run that for you. It'll give you some sense of how to operate this. But you have to make sure that you will make money out of it. Many times, the mall guy will take the rent and you're dead after that, okay? He'll want share of revenue. So, you have to be careful. Yeah. See, the main thing in this is, at bottom of it, you should say, I don't know, I don't want to comment or judge, but revenue is not the only thing, basically, okay? Initially, it is important to establish yourself. Maybe you do a few experiments to tell other malls you are doing it, basically, okay? But if it gives you access to customer base, okay, and through that you can get to his community, which is outside the mall, there's an opportunity. The way I look at it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. But I have given only one example like mall. It can be a hospital, it can be a
wherever. It depends. Equivalent. I don't think there's one size fits all approached by all entities. Do you understand? It could be the hospital itself, for example.
Yes.
We have spent time on lead generation. We have a good understanding of who is a lead. We have spent time on greater understanding of who is my fish, where do these fish swim about, which lake, so where should I be present. We have discussed aspects which can become a focused thing, an opportunity to present at their own workshops and seminars and events, etc. Gives it something. Mali's input was, even if we present there, see if there is something they can act upon, which that there is some specific thing which will happen rather than a general presentation about ourselves. He spoke to us about low-hanging fruit, and even within that target segment, to go after that low-hanging fruit where it's a little easier, and also inputs on how to create from a nice-to-have customer by implementing. You convert that to have a must-have for that customer, and that then gives us replicating it to other people. So we have got all those inputs. Let's move on to now closing a sale or any aspects in terms of converting leads into customers. So Mali, anything you want to share in terms of some approaches and aspects?
See, I think in continuation of the thought process of low-hanging fruit, I think any product or service which is either unique and new to the market, or any product which is already there but coming from a new organization, it is important for them to have one or two customers adopting it. Or if it's B2C, maybe many more adopting it. So we should, in our approach, as an introductory tactic, try and make it attractive for the customer to try your product or service. Okay. There could be various ways. You could, for example, you could pilot it with some customers, even free of cost sometimes. Okay, if you think...
No, I want to pause there. Even free of cost. How many of you have many customers? How many of you have no customers? I want to start there. How many of you have a product or service but 0 customers? Okay. How many of you have...
We don't have any customers.
Okay, yours have understood. How many of you are not clear where your next customer is? We have some but I don't know where my next customer is. Quite a few, Mali. So I want to pick up on this to say, so to get that next customer, what has come in the way of a decision to be taken? So Mali, your thing I want to take up to say, be ready to even give it whatever.
Initially, because you could spend money on marketing, advertising, digital, everything. I would rather spend it on a used case or an example, then throw away money, spray the money, basically. Okay. Whatever in my mind I have budget as selling cost or marketing cost, call it what you want. Okay. I don't mind either at a huge discount or free and if I can give it to somebody who's known or respected in that industry or sector, that will be a great example to showcase. And I'll tell you my experience. Many customers, I'll tell you the joke is when partnered with Citi in the 90s, and we used to do a brand called Shelters. We are one-stop shop for home loans and mortgages, etc. So, as a customer, how Citibank thought those days was quite fascinating. Okay, they were the pioneers in retail lending in India in the 90s. Okay, so we were doing a property event in which we were looking for an ad agency. Citibank's ad agency is Walter Thompson, what are the big names. Yeah. Okay, but this event was being done by our joint company. So the value to that agency is what Citibank used to sell as a customer. Okay, they used to go and when guys came to pitch to us for thing, the first thing this guy, audacity took, I could never have said that. He says, you will not make money on this, but you can pick Citibank on the client list. Yeah. So if you can use that to pick clients who will be great references for you, you can, again, the low-hanging fruit or a fruit which is most desired to have, it'll give you an exposure to the industry based on the leaders or the influencers who are the people in the industry. So it's important to go and see, obviously, we'll come to that, multiple influencers, everything. I'm saying broad at an organization level. The specifics of how you get into the company is a different game. I'm giving you the broad picture of trying to get into customers who could be your marquees, basically. Say, boss, I've sold to this guy, he's using my service, and you go call him and ask him, basically. It's worthwhile, or giving a heavy discount, basically, or even a trial. If it works, your product should be experienced or your service should be experienced and can be used as. And these guys, when you offer it free or tell them, boss, I'm doing it because you're who you are, they will be your brand ambassadors without asking for it, I can tell you. Product ambassadors, service ambassadors, call it what you want.
So I want to take this up with a specific thing which I want to ask you guys. How many of you, for whatever it is you're chasing, you're meeting, you're presenting, one reason why a customer does not decide? And I want to give that reason, and I want to stimulate some discussion about it. The customer is not sure that your product will work for him. You are a startup, you are new, nobody else is using it. So what is it, a reason why a customer is not saying, go ahead.
One, they're used to their old way of new digitization. Not many people are adopting.
Okay, that's a nice input.
I don't want to give as well. For us, we are building this platform for facility. So some of the established things, they have thousands of customers and they have this huge database, and they have been doing it with pen and paper so far. And they know that this software is going to be useful. They know that this is going to make their life easy and so on. But one decision which I see as a partner is they're not willing to put the data out there to trust saying, okay, this data will be safe.
Nice. Okay.
Let somebody else be.
No, I got it. Huh?
Let somebody else be.
No. This is an anxiety whether my data is then in the public space and it's not available to me. Yeah. Anybody else? Why? Yeah.
So one thing is like.
Your product is?
It's a mobile app-based solution for the pregnancy care.
Yeah. Pregnancy and fertility care.
Yeah. So when we present it to the doctors, okay, they say it's good. Okay, they see value also in that. Okay, but they also see like, okay, it's going to change my current way of doing. Okay, and getting into some unknown. Okay, and that's a big hesitation for them.
Getting into an unknown.
And
Okay, I want to keep those things in mind. Yeah.
So when the beneficiaries are now
Your product is
Yali Mobility.
Yali Mobility. Yeah, I know that.
When the beneficiaries are trying the
They have mobile transportation solutions for people with disabilities.
I know. Three-wheelers prototype here.
Yeah.
so they can try get into the bike with their own vehicles.
Yeah.
So when they do the test drive, they literally saying that if I am going on the road, it's stuck in the middle of the road, what will I do?
Correct.
What will I do? So they are saying that there is a technology, if you press a particular button, it will unlock and everything. But they, from their aspect, they are saying if the vehicle is stuck in the middle of the vehicle, how will you get again? Or in the middle of the night or something like that. So that's a question from the beneficiary.
Sure. So Mali, finally, what could be an approach to still get your early customers from?
See, early and the next customers.
Yeah,
let's say.
yeah.
Okay. First customer, let's say you tried after 2 or 3, whatever.
Correct.
See, there are different strategy for different. If it's a B2B service which is enhancing productivity or reducing cost or whatever, I think if you can crack 2 or 3 customers, even big or small, and the industry and the competition sees that they're gaining an undue advantage or a reasonably good advantage because of your product, and that word goes around, the fear of missing out and the insecurity of not doing this will drive people. If you're another product, another service, then maybe you're coming cheaper or more efficiently or a better version. So inertia is a big problem for all of us. If they're used to a particular vendor and the many multiple angles to the vendor and the purchase manager, all this is there. But and what we've noticed recently, JK, is very interesting. Many of the products and services, especially in family businesses, when there's a generational change happening, the newer generation is willing to adapt and experiment.
Lovely point for us to keep in mind.
Whether it's tech or service, the parents were resistant.
Yeah.
They had done it in a particular way for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
But the new generation wants to try technology, new service, productivity enhancement. So for your product or service, you make a list of possible points where you can strike and approach it accordingly. Whom to talk to in a family business, for example. You could get an entirely different answer from the uncle or the father than from the child, I can tell.
No, I think it's a lovely point. I think Mali's point even earlier on that low-hanging fruit, I'm expanding on everything when he raises. Therefore, even within our target customers, somebody who's from the new generation may be more open to, because they know it works. I mean, they don't need all those things answered for what you said. For example, data in a public space. A lot of people who are presented to me, JK, while your cash may be safe under the pillow, you think putting it in the safe deposit vault is a much better thing because we have greater security than what you have under your pillow. Whereas, so data in a public, so there are things, but I think point he is making, within that is their decision maker, owner, who's maybe in the new generation more open to looking at.
Even in an organization, JK, if it's a new generation manager, who intuitively understands new technologies, new ideas and more open. And he believes that he should adopt it, otherwise he's missing out also.
Nice.
So, that is one way. The other way is his point about three-wheeler and breakdown. No? I've been mentoring some of the companies in the EV auto space kind of thing. Same thing comes up. All of them, it's a very logical thing. They offer 24-hour breakdown services, basically. Okay, you have to mitigate the fear. There's no way I'll say just press a button, which is good. But if he really gets stuck and is a handicapped person, for example, you should give him that assurance that you are there for him. It requires effort and cost. You cannot just say press a button. It can work, need not work. Till it gets established, you have to support them at least. You have to mitigate fears clearly. Okay.
I have a question. So what happens if the end user wants to use it, but you're not able to convince the decision maker who has to sign it?
It's a purchase manager kind of person?
Yeah, so the purchase manager wants to use it, but the executive director is any-daddy. So
it could be both ways. The executive director might want to use it, the purchase manager might say no, because he has vested interest already.
So would you still continue to extend like a free trial?
I'll tell you, I'll share this example with you. I'll share my table tennis style. I used to play JK. My style was horribly boring, okay. I'll just keep putting the ball back, JK, till the other guy falls for it, basically. Okay. Sometimes you have to just chip away. You have no choice, but just chip. That's the reality. Huh? It's not as if you go in second presentation, all is all in the movies. Okay. Here it's going out, and sometimes he'll wonder what he's missing out by not dealing with you. But you have to constantly keep telling him how you're adding value to him, basically. Okay, it can't be the same pitch again and again. I've upgraded this product, I've done this. So keep his curiosity alive all the time, because if he's entertaining you more than once, he's interested but doesn't want to decide, basically. Okay, and I would rather see, while the influencer is important, if the end user is a senior man in the organization, you can work on him to make sure the influencer is influenced to buy it. But if the influencer is dead against, you have a task there. For whatever reason, because you've got vested interest if a product or service is going to replace something where he is comfortable with a supplier or service provider. There is a challenge, no doubt.
So we do have to create a strong business case.
All the time, no value. Subtract cost, add productivity, do something new. Otherwise, you tell him you just have to see the thought that 3 of your competition has bought it. For example, 2 of your competition has bought it. You're missing out, man. You're not there. You're not being there.
And Badri, to add to what Mal is to your question, because of some of our own experiences, if the end user department is not favorably inclined, but let's say I sold it at the CEO level, I'm very sure in 2 months he'll come back saying, guys are saying it's not working for them. We have a bigger challenge because we need to certainly have end users positively buy-in. Buy-in is. I know. Correct. But then,
it could be budgets, it could be cost,
but you could. It's easier then to still work at the CEO level or at the decision maker level because people are using it, they're finding it useful. You can keep on going back with the data saying, hey, this product, they've found this, you need to decide.
Or give them a trial which is working and they'll see value in it, no?
That's what he's doing. I think they're using it, but the decision to,
It's something that we are experiencing right now.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. One more question. So we talked about, say, being part of these association events and exhibitions and so on and so forth for lead generation exercises. I want to know what typically should be the appetite for failure of lead generation exercises within a startup. Meaning, I go sponsor 3 lakhs for an event. I get some 4 or 5 inquiries, but nothing has happened. Now, as a startup, we obviously want to deploy our front so that we get the most out of it.
Correct.
So, nothing panned out, we got some inquiries. How would you consider that? Would that still propel you to maybe sponsor more events?
No. From the times when I did this to today, the big advantage today all of us have is the fact that if you are going to be part of an event, it's for a sponsor, it's fairly, to an accurate degree, you know the profile of the attendees, basically. Okay, it's good to know. Don't gently write a check saying it's an event by, let's say, whatever industry body, basically, okay? CII. Without taking names or whatever, even NIT Trichy or doesn't guarantee that in target segment for you. You would rather zero down on specific audiences which are likely to be your customers first. That reduces by a small fraction the failure of probability. And again, no guarantees on this. It's a process of learning. And many times you'll be surprised that somebody who experienced your service or product in a conclave or an event today comes back to you in 6 months later. It's about constantly following up, okay? Many things work like that. I give you at an individual selling level. I was telling JK, I had a boy who joined me from Nagarkoil, MA literate graduate, to sell doctor loans for us. It's a classic example of how we built relationships. Today, he's one of the biggest private wealth managers for UBP. That's a private bank in Switzerland. He joined me at a 2,000 rupees salary when my company didn't have employees. He said, my dream is to work for T.S. Mahalingam, he said. He sold me the idea, okay? What he used to do diligently, you won't believe it. I'm talking about the diligence and the relationship building. He had a diary, no digital those days. He had a diary in which every morning he'll have a list of birthdays, anniversaries, or kids' birthdays of doctors. Diligently, every morning he used to call JK. And when the need happened, those guys called him. So it's building relationships also.
Works. Yeah.
It works. In the underrated, in today's digital world, I'll tell you, even today when we get digital leads, nothing like being in person for our products and services, I can tell you.
Yeah.
That is just inquiry for me. Okay. I think meeting the customer often or being in touch with him and updating him makes him feel that you're really keen to solve his problems. That's the point I'm making, and being at it. So don't worry if it doesn't happen today. But to your point, with limited budgets, it's a challenge to decide where and when.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that. It's up to you to zero in on who the attendees are and where it is happening and what time of the year when all the relevant people will be there. Yeah. For example, horrible to do an event in anything in May, June when a lot of influencers are away on holidays, for example. Just giving an example.
Yeah. At the same time, Badri, I just want to add, at the same time, it may need to get done. I'm reminded of this conversation which is happening between the CEO and the CFO. Because the CEO says, hey, you know what, people need to get trained on these new methods and this, and we have to send them for this expensive training program. The CFO asks, what if we train them and they all leave? And the CEO says, what if we don't train them and they stay? So if there are no leads and we still need to get those leads, there is still some of these events you may need to look at, because, so like Mali said, it's still a careful decision, but you can't completely go away from that, because otherwise your lead generation activity...
GK, I add to what you're saying. As I mentioned earlier, each customer saying no is an experience in itself, basically. Either on your pitch on your product or service also. So, because he's not going to waste his time generally coming. There are people who do it for curiosity, I'm not saying no. Yeah. But every rejection is an experience in every way.
Yeah. Rani, you were saying something?
Yeah, so to answer to that, even we were thinking not to go and pay 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs and attend. So what we did is, we went to those exhibitions. Now, for example, UMA happened. So getting a stall was very expensive. We made a card like this, which gives every detail about what we are doing. We were standing in that exhibition as we are visiting. We gave this to all the stalls that we visited, and we stood there. Whoever was coming in and going out, we gave them this. So without paying any money to put up a stall, we marketed our product there because I didn't have the budget to pay that money.
Guerrilla marketing style.
So we did guerrilla marketing.
The other thing you could do is position yourself as a technology partner, AV partner, whatever, and you get an endorsement by itself, but it's very early stages, much more difficult unless somebody you know is doing it. Somebody who believes in you or your mentor or whoever is doing something like that, he could showcase you like that. But those are rare and few and far between.
No, and I want to share an example from the earlier era to address this. Should we give our products or services or something free or in some way available for experience? Mali, this was in a time when I was in Blue Star. Okay, we had lots of appliances and stuff. One of the products we had were weighing machines. And the leading competitor, the leader in the industry was Avery. I have great respect for them as a sales organization. Actually, many times, there are some organizations who have sales in their blood. Like the Modi Xerox guys, whom all of us would have seen and done. You grow up in sales and sales and sales. Avery was one such organization. And in those days, the sweet shops which were coming up, they had what was called the pan balance. 2 pans. Okay, you put weight on one side, you put the sweets on another side. It will have a needle where you need to watch out whether if it is level, it's equal, and up and down is something. So these weighing machine guys, the Avery guys, they know that customers don't buy unless the product side goes down a bit. Because I always want, if it's 500 grams, I want 500 plus 10. The kosurungardu is a concept which many of us will know as far as the way we buy. So he was selling, the guy said, no, this pan balance is only 300 rupees. Whereas your weighing machine with that dials is 3,000 rupees. And it's too much. So he goes to one of the shops and he says, you have it today free. Leaves the machine. And says, today just make your sales guys weigh only on that. So he weighs it while that payment is going on, he goes around the neighborhood, 3 more sweet shops, and tells them that sweet shop has already installed one. Dial. If you want, you go and see. Customers are very happy with that. So Mali, what you said, the same thing. One workshop takes and the other whatever. End of the day, the owner of that sweet shop realized he has saved 5-10 grams in each payment. And he has sold to some 30-40 customers that day. He has saved 1 kilogram. And those days, 1 kilogram of sweets would have been some 30-40 rupees, whatever. Save 30 bucks a day. So the sales guy, end of the day, says, look, in a month you can save 900 rupees. In 3 months you can recover the cost of this machine. After that, it's profit for you. I'm going to take this machine back. So, no, leave it. So it works to say, if you can show a demo or they can experience your product or service, they will then realize.
An example, no? Like carat meters to jewelry shops. Same thing. There's a lot of resistance earlier when you check. They were doing it manually even now. But people who saw value are willing to invest in it because the overall saving over a year or two is significant.
Yeah.
So just a confirmation on the same idea, like, okay, when I go to somebody, like I say, like, okay, we have installed in so many places. Is that enough, or I should show them or provide them evidence that I installed so places, and because of that, okay, they've got some more business or something. So should I show that any
First of all, I don't know if you'll have information to say it with authority. First of all, what benefit? But definitely, customers, the reference, if he can talk for you, that's the best way to do it. You don't need to state it. The customer saying it will be much more. You should tell your customer, earlier customer, that they'll be calling for reference. You give what you feel. That's a great endorsement, I can tell you. You can say, but it should get endorsed. Not that they should call the doctor or whoever, and the doctor should confirm that.
It's like, for example, in nowadays, like when we go to one person, like even the doctor says, okay, if I'm going to take yours, don't install the same product within a radius.
That's early days, no? That you cannot grow your business like that. No, you have to overcome. You can overcome that over a period of time because everybody. I agree with what you're saying. They want to be unique, but initially yes, but then go to different. But eventually that will catch up. No, you can't grow your.
If I tell them like, okay, please refer to that guy. Okay, he's going to give a good review or whatever. But I'm not sure whether he's going to give.
So you can't be afraid of that. No, then you have to sell only to the 2 doctors, 5 doctors. No, you can't be afraid of that. You have to overcome that fear, no, basically. You can't be exclusive to 1 doctor or 5 doctors, no.
Okay, Mali, one last question and then I want to open it out for people to interact with you. You were mentioning about that in order to close that sale, quantifying that value proposition. So you were mentioning it could be savings in cost, it could be increase in productivity or some other benefit on that side. So some thoughts with which the quantifying of your value proposition to close a sale or to close that particular transaction.
The simplest is for a basic businessman or most business to understand, if it can help you increase your revenue, for example. Anything which increases revenue for you, whatever, by enhancing their offering in whatever way, is something people will bite clearly. Now, subtraction of cost is something they'll experience. It's a slightly more longer term process, basically. You have to help them experience it. But increase in sales, they will say immediately. For example, there are many of these sustainability startups which help you save water, save, increase your yield, etc. in agri-tech and stuff like that. That takes time to establish. But it's quantifiable because they've never had anything because water is scarce in this country. Some of these I saw was a water knowledge product I saw on this list. It saves consumption, etc. That is quantifiable and people will use it. Only thing, everybody will do a cost-benefit analysis, basically. So, what is it I'm investing and how much will I save? And if you can go, obviously these guys go with the pitch saying, so many liters of water you will save, which means so much on the water meter, so much for if it's an apartment complex, so much for each apartment. And it will last for 3 years, over which you so many liters. Plus, there's always today the carbon footprint, water saving kind of thing. So, you should be able to appeal to The tangible and the intangible, basically. But the tangible is the most immediately experienced, JK. There are many products which help increase sales. Your service could increase, help sales, for example. So I think I'm trying to look at examples from what one of you do is where it helps sales. Any of you have done anything which helps increase revenue for customers? Or it has improved? What has it done? Yeah?
We've done for productivity increase.
Yeah.
And your product is air purifier.
Yeah. What's the name of the purifier? There's another IIT Madras startup called AeroQ or something here, no? There's something here. Yeah, there was one.
I just have a question. So, you go to the customer, if we explain, okay, so it's going to get more customers, more patients for you.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is, okay, so this is a way you improve the care, it's going to spread out. Okay, so you grow organically. Okay, you're going to get customer, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to take so long time. But what we hear from the customers, whatever the short term, okay, they say like, okay, can you get immediately within a month or something, like, can you get this? Okay, but we clearly see that it's kind of like inorganic. I mean, it's not going to sustain actually. But they insist on that. Okay, so it's kind of like difficult to explain them that don't just look for the short-term gain. Okay, please wait a little bit. You will be getting like a long-term gain and consistent, sustainable gain. So this is
maybe that's an inducement of short-term gain. We should give them to make them use long-term. Happens. It's like a cost of acquiring the customer, no? Give them some benefit, financial benefit initially, so that they get used to it and get hooked to it, as he said, no? Like the weighing machine. So they find it so indispensable, they'll continue to use it and you have sustainable revenue, no? But initially, market entry, you have to, there's a price to pay for it, no?
Yeah. Anybody else now with some questions? We have another few minutes before we wrap up. Go ahead, Akhilesh.
So we actually save, I don't know if you call it the revenue or saving money. So that is my question actually. So we actually put some devices and we say, okay, this is your real productivity. So you have to increase it. They are, the people in the bottom shop floor or the supervisor level, they are giving the wrong information. This is what we say. And we say, okay, they claim it is 90% efficiency, but in reality it is only 50% efficiency. So, do we consider that as a revenue increase or is it like?
Logically, productivity is increasing efficiency of the operation, which is saving cost or making overall cost of the product or service lower, no? Basically. So, it'll translate to better margins, not necessarily more sales. Do you understand? More revenue. Do you understand? A better margin means better cost. More for the same money, you're getting more, no? That is cost in a way, no? Yeah. Any other questions?
Anybody?
Can I know?
Yes, Rani.
We are basically a marketplace. So we have customers, both the women as well as the companies where we employ them. There has to be a shift in the mindset of the organization that it is beneficial to appoint women who have taken a career break. So it is like creating a new market, like Swiggy, which was never available, and now I am saying that these are the employees that will actually make a difference. So is there a way that I can approach that? Predominantly, though I may have trained the women at the moment, they say break and they don't understand the value of somebody who's coming after break, because the value is going to be both economic value as well as experience value that's coming in. So how do I position myself? This is a B2B requirement that I need to make. So how do I position myself?
My response to that will be, Rani, is that there are companies which are struggling to get people, I can tell you. You have to right to go after those clusters, then go and bang your head against somebody, one established IT company, which has surplus to people wanting to join them. Your job is to find women who will fit into those companies. That's the lowest hanging fruit there. You're doing a big service. You'll be able to charge twice as maybe as because they're desperate for people. You go address a crying need, then try and push your service to somebody who already has a mechanism to get people. Simple, very simple. Go.
How do I identify people who are struggling?
No. Means which way? From the supplies. Yeah, for example, I'll give you an example. at a broad level. I don't know what category of women is. For example, retail is struggling to get people today, I can tell you. I don't know what retail is struggling to get good quality people, I can tell you.
No, she's got an IT in HR.
That's why I'm asked you, I don't know.
No, IT, HR, finance, all.
I mean, I'm just looking at this as an opportunity for women who maybe IT
Sure.
look at this huge opportunity.
Sure.
They were to go there and
Sure.
because they are going to reskill
Sure.
themselves
And even number of startups like yours who are looking for people today, I can tell you.
No, I'll tell you why I like what Mali is saying. Again and again, he's coming back to saying, in his mind, it is immediately saying, hey, where is the low-hanging fruit
Correct.
for your industry?
Correct.
Okay, that is, don't go after the Infosys.
Correct.
Okay, don't go after all those guys. Even last time, I remember, Rani, I was telling you, in my own company, we would need, and we don't really want to differentiate between people who took a career break. If the skill set is there,
I just want to take them.
so why not look for companies like those?
Exactly.
I think that's the input. That's the input which we are getting from.
And the idea you can sell to the women is companies like medium-sized companies are more flexible with their employees.
Correct.
You'll give them a life and a lifestyle which is much more work from home, come as long as the job gets done.
Yeah.
I think you'll marry that need better that way.
Yeah.
Identifying the right employers.
One question I have.
Thank you.
So we are into this AR, VR, nice to have. Right? So one aspect of feedback that we get from our customers are new prospects. So one aspect is we have tried it in some bit of a jugaad and we have burnt our fingers. So this is just a nice to have. So finally they come say that without this we can still survive. So that is one aspect, but most of them say that we have tried this in some manner with someone, but there has been a mismatch in that. So how do we address those kind of very unique kind of responses we get from that specific?
Who's your customer normally?
Our customers are
They use it for training solutions, for product demo. What is it?
sales tools.
Product demo.
Yes.
And what products do they sell normally?
Machinery.
So you will give a simulated presentation of that, if I understand right. Correct.
Yeah.
And they think the investment they make in the solution is not helping them grow their business, basically.
Yes.
How long have you been at it now?
Last 3 years really.
And you're getting revenues already in the company, you have customers?
We have pilot customers, and for them the licenses and other the back-end thing is going on. But to get to new customers, the awareness of the technology also has increased because of the pandemic, because of AR, VR headsets and other things. So people are reluctant in terms of...
What is the specific problem you solve for the customer?
So the pitch that we actually go with is, we are able to convey the same sales message consistently across at every point of time across platforms. And
what is the size of companies you try to sell to? Medium size MSMEs, what is it?
we have tried large companies and automobile OEMs as of now. And we are trying to enter into MSME, but we are facing all these kind of resistance. But I think with one of those interactions, it was like the intent and ability to pay. So that is a big factor that we have also felt. So, okay. But mainly in terms of people who are coming back and saying we have already burnt our fingers. So
is it an offering as a SaaS kind of service kind of thing, or is it a installation?
It's a SaaS kind of a solution.
And they're not willing to pay a SaaS also kind of thing in this?
Yes.
I don't understand this industry, so I don't want to comment deeply on this. But I would like to re-examine the value proposition for the customer, JK, basically.
No, I think we'll take it up offline and we'll get something specific to you. Okay. I think we're just coming to the end of it. Anybody else who has anything? Mali? Okay.
You've got something.
Last one.
What we discussed today is how, in your words, customer. So I am going to run a pilot next month. So the principles are going to be, because I don't want to invest too much resources, efforts, time. It's just a pilot. I want to validate the product. So how does that vary from what we discussed? What extent?
What's your question again? Sorry.
Pilot for?
I want to run a pilot.
So, now what?
I think what we discussed today is like
Correct.
full steam into acquiring the customers.
No. We didn't say go
Lead
full
generation
steam at
also,
all.
no?
No. You can do a pilot. What is the
So
problem?
you're saying the same principles apply for
Yeah.
For doing a pilot also, you have to get somebody to use do a pilot, no? You have to break into somebody who wants to do a pilot with you, no? Same logic works whether you're closing the sale or entering the customer.
Great, yeah. Thanks, Mali.
Yeah.
Terrific that you came and shared here. And Kishore? Yes.
Thank you so much. I feel like it's a wonderful project, right? And we keep on doing this kind of sessions month on month to prepare your pitch deck to understand more about the customer and how to make a sales. But end of the day, the objective is like how to get new customers and make sales. So that is our objective, and this is one way of doing things. And this is Marketbridge version 2, where we also evolved ourselves based on the kind of feedbacks, based on the kind of comments we received from the startups as well as from the delivering side also. So this is another initiation, and I believe like the same set of startups over here, if you're able to come up for the next month session also, it will be grateful for you, and you can also learn a lot and tweak your pitch deck and make sales better. And once more, thank you so much to Mahalingam sir as well as to JK sir for arranging such a wonderful version. As a token of appreciation, I want Mr. JK to give away this gift to Mr. Mali sir, please.
Thank you so much.
You can have that. We have another side also, no issues. We have.
Thank you.